Hi, I'm Evelyn. This is my session breakdown of me and Tyson Yen's cover of Undefeatable, originally composed by Tomoya Ohtani and Kellen Quinn for the Sonic Frontier soundtrack. This cover was worked on for a little bit. Um, Tyson brought it to me. What ended up happening is we were discussing some other covers to do together, and he told me to look through he had a list of covers that were requested of him to do, and it turns out he had already finished the harmony vocals for this. Was gonna have someone else do the lead vocals, but they had backed out, and so we just ended up finishing it together. Um, yeah, it was a lot of fun to work on. I want to say three different guitars for this. I had my baritone guitar. I forgot to do the thing with my webcam. Ex- there we go. Um, he has told me that this is the hardest recording session he's ever had to do, full blank, and that he really does not want to do Catelyn Quinn again unless he's feeling very brave about it. So don't expect more Sonic Frontier stuff. Just like don't. It's probably not gonna happen. But it was a lot of fun. I had used three separate guitars for this. I had used my baritone guitar, which was tuned to E standard or an octave down. I had used my Les Paul for the chorus, which was in drop C, and then for the guitar solo, I had my guitar in just E standard. So the bass is programmed. I was once again using the Nocturnal core bass library from Submission Audio. Again, incredible bass library. Sounds really good out of the box. You don't need to do a lot of processing. Um, that's tuned to B standard. It's not really tuned to anything. It's programmed, but like the lowest note is B. Um, then I have, of course, some synths. I have a piano. The piano doesn't do much. It's very quiet in the mix, and it's during the intro. I only realized after listening to the original that I had gotten the piano part wrong. I just kind of guessed it when I was making the song, but it is a very specific piano part in the original that I just didn't do right. So we're just gonna pretend that it was for originality's sake. But then over here it's doubling that lead synth and then it's doing the same thing at the end. I'll go more in detail into the production in just a little bit. I have all my post-production thing. I have some impact samples. I don't love how impact samples sound anymore. Like they work sometimes, but most of the time they just really kind of they're just kind of annoying to hear. Then I have a bunch of risers, and then I have my sub drops here. And then this is the good stuff. This is Tyson Yen. All of this. This is a lot of tracks. Um, a lot of stuff going on. The Reaper is kind of eating at my CPU. I don't know if that's gonna cause desync audio issues, like in the actual MP4 file of the video. You'll see when it comes out. I'm just looking at my preview screen over here, and I'm seeing it kind of go out of sync every now and again. It shouldn't be a big deal. The audio seems to be fine. That's all that matters to me. So I guess we'll start with the guitars as usual here. Um, I have a few different layers. I have my rhythm guitar layer, which is obviously my just heavy guitar tone. I have some production leads, which are just extremely reverbed. Like they're not there for the notes, they're there for the atmosphere. Like you could not discern these notes if you wanted to. Then they're just there for atmosphere. And then I have, of course, have my rhythm guitar tone. This is my baritone guitar. And I have I've considered selling it because it is a for the price point it's a great guitar, but it's very cheap, and so as a result the pickups are very cheap and they're microphonic. So what ends up happening is they just pick up so much excess noise, even for single coils, because they're single coils, so I expect noise. They pick up an unreal amount of noise. It's barely tolerable. The only way I could fix it for this song, because the song needs to be very tight, is if I just turned to the middle pickup. That kind of made a artificial humbucker sound because it was the two pickups canceling each other out. But even then, like it wasn't great. Um, so then I have my guitar in drop C here. This is my Les Paul. You can't see it. It's like off screen in the background. That is using the Toneforge Jeff Loomis for its guitar tone. And my other two session breakdowns, I said Toneforge Howard Svensson. That's wrong. It's Toneforge Jeff Loomis. That is the amp sim I'm using. Um, and then I really only use my E standing guitar for like the solo, because it needed to have like an open G, and so it has me an E standard. It's very sloppy. There are so many cuts here. I can't shred. It sounds much better in the context of the mix. Um, let's move on to the bass. Like I said, very simple. I'm just using the Tone bass library. I'm using the I didn't explain the guitar processing. So I have Soothe on every single one of my guitars just to like tame the harshness a little bit, get rid of some of those really annoying frequencies that just don't sound good. I'm using the Nolly guitar D spike preset, I believe, for all of them. And then on the guitar bus, I have a few things going on. I have Decapitator. This is a really nice distortion plugin. I'm using the more edge preset with the mix turned down quite a bit. If I just isolate the guitar and I slowly turn it up, you'll see what I mean. Why it's so low. And this is what it sounds like without it. It just sounds very like, it doesn't have that same grit to it. That brings that back. It just helps it be a lot more aggressive and bitey. I have a stereo imager. It's not doing a lot. It's very much barely doing anything at all. It's just making the guitar sound just a little bit wider than they already are. And then I have a limiter here just to make sure nothing clips. That's my guitar processing. Very simple. There's not a lot going on. And then for the bass, like I said, I have Soothe on it. I don't need it though. I never use Soothe on my bass. I just felt like using it for this one to see how it sounded. It sounded fine. I wouldn't do it again. I'm surprised. Usually I will sidechain my kick. Did I do that and just bake it in? Okay, so don't do that. Normally what I do is I would sidechain my kick to my bass so that whenever the kick would go off, the bass would duck down a little, but I guess I just forgot to do that. And I normally do it with the guitars too, but instead with the snare, because snare and guitar can really compete for those frequencies, and just having them duck just a little bit really makes space for the drums. Normally I duck the bass as well because I make sub room. I guess I forgot. Oops. So this is what the bass sounds like on its own. It's playing in the same octave as the guitar for most of the heavy stuff, because that's just what the original song plays. And the reason a lot of people do that is when you're tuning down a bass super low, sometimes the frequencies can sound really muddy, and without the right mixing, it can just sound bad. I personally like when the bass tuned an octave lower, but for this song, it wasn't composed to sound like that. So when you just try and do that, it doesn't sound good because it's not what it was composed around. So I kept the bass the way it originally was. I did do an octave down originally, but then it just sounded silly. I do have, as a solution though, I have a sub bass going down an octave low. It's just playing the bass part just an octave lower, and it's just a sine wave. The attack is pretty slow, so it kind of rises in all the time. It's barely in the mix. You can barely hear it, but it is adding that sub information it desperately needs. So this is what the bass sounds like without it. This is what the bass sounds like with it. It's not doing a whole lot, but in the mix it helps. It just helps. The drums, I'm just using my standard drums. I have like a pre-mixing at this point. Periphery 5 kit, I'm using basic SSL EQ rack on all my stuff, and then I'm just putting the Get Good drum smash and grab on top of all of it. It does the job. It sounds great. This is what the drums sound like by themselves. Let's move on to the synths. This was fun. So I had this lead synth here. It's only ever playing in this bridge part here, and it's very kicked in reverb. So yeah. Not doing a whole. It's just like it's very simple, very basic. It didn't need to be very complicated. It just didn't. Um, then I had this pad here that just plays during some chords during the intro and outro. Just to build some atmosphere. Then I have my piano, which is just doing these chords. And then during the bridge, it's actually doubling the lead synth over here. It's not very loud in the mix here. I turned it up quite a bit, but even still, like, it's in the back. It's mostly for like it's less for the note and more for the like physical clicking of the keys. So this is what that sounds like together. It just adds a bit more physicality to the synth. I'm not gonna isolate my production. It's just production. It is nothing fancy. It is sub drops, risers, and a little boom. I guess I'll play the boom. That's a free sample you can find on Modern Metal Songwriter. This is a fun part. Tyson Yen. I mixed his vocals completely on this all myself. There's a lot of stuff going on here, so um, I have made my own presets for Tyson Yen now. I've kind of dialed in what he likes, and then I've just saved those so I can just reuse them on everything, and not have to worry about it too much. So I have the intro and outro are separate layers. The intro is very much like it's very much reverbed, and then the outro is very lo-fi. And then this is the lead line here. This is just like this main vocal take.
Welcome to the mind of a different kind, where we've been growing slowly. Think about 11, but I'm on a 9. Guess you don't really know me. Running from the past is a losing game. It never brings you glory. Been down this road before, already know the story.
You can hear him really struggling, but he still sounds great. He still does.
It's time to face your fear, 'cause when your time has come,
Really just incredible talent.
I'll be the one to the walls, 'cause I am undefeatable.
Then I have this little reverse reverb thing that's just kind of here, just leading into the last chorus.
I'm hanging.
Just has a little bit of ambience. For his screams, I have about 3 layers for screams. This is the main layer, obviously.
Face your power.
I have decapitated going on after the vocal plugin just to add some extra saturation like you wanted to. And then on top of that, I have a delay layer. And what this is doing, this layer has reverb turned on 100%. 100%. There's none of the original track in this. So this way I can just control the volume of the delay, I can control everything about it without having to worry about how it's affecting the original sound. So here's what that sounds like by itself. And with the original on top of it.
Face your power. Face your power.
And then have this reverse reverb on top of that too, going into the second scream.
Face your power.
Oh, and then there's this like during the break. Let's see, I think this is the break. Where is it? I think it's right over here. Yeah. He does like a nasty scream here. disgusting. And then of course I have all the harmony layers here. The low vocals are the ones he had already had done before he even started this.
Welcome to the mind of a different kind, where we've been growing slowly. Think I'm on 11, but I'm on a 9. Guess you don't really know me. It's time to face your fear, 'cause when your time has come and gone, I'll be the one to carry on.
And then you have these high harmonies here, which just sound great.
Think I'm on 11, but I'm on a 9. Running from the this road before. Already know the story. You're just an enemy. Can't make up out of me. I'll find another way.
This sounds great. Then there's just like this little layer for like some stuff at the beginning. Just
Go.
and then we have a separate layer just for the woes.
Whoa! 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 Whoa!
And then I'll just let you listen to I'll just let you to listen to the chorus with the isolated vocals.
I'm hanging on to the other side.
Nope.
It's time to face your fear, 'cause when your time has come and gone, I'll be the one to carry on, and you can throw me to the wall. Throw me to the wall. 'Cause I am undefeatable. I'm hanging on to the other side. I won't give up till the end of me. I'm what you get when the stars collide. Now face it, you're just an enemy. Whoa, whoa, you're crossing the line. Now we've run out of time. I'll take what is mine.
Great stuff. Let's go into my instrumental best processing now. Again, very simple stuff. I think I've explained this all before, but I'm just gonna go over it one more time. So I'm just using the FG Gray compressor here. These settings are taken from Nolly. The threshold is just adjusted a little bit to taste, but all these Nolly settings, go watch his Periphery 5 session breakdown on Wildfire. You can learn a lot. Then I just have, like I said, this is also what Nolly's doing, just the FG Red doing some more. Then I have track spacer here, which what that's doing is the vocals are being sidechained into this, so the only thing this is recognizing is the vocal feed. That's the only input it's getting. And what it's doing is when the vocals come in, it's gonna take the frequency that I selected here and duck it down just a little bit, so that it makes space for the vocals, and I don't need to turn the vocals up as loud in the mix so that there's more headroom. Wondrous plugin, please snatch it if you haven't already. It is a game changer. And then the vocal bus processing, it's just an 1175 to make sure all the vocals like don't get too loud. It's just some volume treatment, and then I have soothe on top of that. And then on my mid mix bus here, I just have Golfos, incredible plugin, and these are also Nolly settings. It's not actually doing this much. It says it is. It is not doing this much. I can promise you that. And then virtual tape machine to give it that tape saturation that just sounds really good. And then the master, I don't remember what I did. I either just put flatline on it and just put it up to like -8 LUFS, or I like put it in ozone 11. I don't remember. I really don't. But yeah, that's about it for this session. I hope you guys learned something. Any questions, just leave them in the comments below and I'll try my best to answer them. Hope you enjoyed the track.